So when I was growing up, I was always very skeptical when they said that Britain like saved these people or like ended colonialism. I'm like, no, my dad said atheists don't need to believe in God to know genocide is bad. So what is the purpose of religious people? What is the purpose of you?
You're no longer the backbone of society.
At all.
What do women really need men for? And it sounds sad, but it's like a childish man is worse than having no men.
Politics can get very physical.
Yeah.
Yes.
Violence is actually a natural part of politics at many a time. So when there's that final bit when it comes to the violence and who's going to create the front line, that's the first time I was like, oh, the man them are not political.
No.
Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Disruption Podcast. We're here, hour and 20 minutes, bit more, bit less to entertain you. It's always going to be good. It's Noor the Baghdaddy.
It's Chief Alasaji in the building, baby.
It's your girl Moeezy.
And we're joined by a special guest, political commentator, content creator, dope person from what we've seen already. Busayo twins, thank you for joining us.
Welcome.
Come on, make some noise.
Thank you for having me.
Good to have you.
Apparently we're your first Australians as well.
First. I've never even met, I don't think I've met, no, supply teachers here in the UK.
Oh,
It's
there's a
thing.
lot. Yeah.
There's a lot of supply teachers from New Zealand or like Australia.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Yeah.
They love
Do
that.
we fit the mold of what you think Australians are?
Good question over here.
I'm
stereotype.
just taking it all in. Right? I feel like when I'm on my way home, I'm going to digest it and process it. But it's like, it's the same but different.
It's vibes,
Same but
right?
different.
What do you think of Australians? Like yourself? Like as in, or not that you just think about them all the time, but like as in when you think of them, like what are you thinking?
I really don't know. I was saying before, like the Anglophone is like our siblings across the pond, but from a political sense. But in terms of the people that live there, I just have I've never had a relationship like with them. I think we grew up, obviously, when you think about activism, stuff about like the Aborigines and stuff like that. So that's what we know. But apart from actors, a lot of great actors who do really good British accents tend to be Australian.
Russell Crowe's and
So
Hugh
that's what I
Jackman.
really know. I don't know much about Australia in terms of like the people I've met personally,
We're really the ugly cousins. We're really the ugly cousins.
Yeah, we are the ugly
We're
cousins.
your ugly cousins.
It's giving ugly cousin.
It's given like the cousin that we heard about, we never saw.
Never
Never
met,
saw,
yeah.
right?
I know you exist, because
But you don't think
we've
they're
seen your
thriving
friends.
though?
Okay, we're dad's side of the family.
I was about to say,
Yeah, your dad's side of the
Yeah.
family, but like, mum's remarried twice.
Damn.
So it's
Marketing's
like,
bad for us.
Yeah, like, because I saw a picture, I remember that we used to hang out. But
Nah, that's
Do you remember me?
yeah.
Moving like those uncles, man. Anyways, we got a nice little, the ice is breaking, but we got a little game as well.
We do something with our guests. We do trade-offs, right? And so I'll give you a statement.
Okay.
We'll guess how you'll answer, just for fun. And then hopefully this helps us get to know you a little bit better, yeah?
Okay.
So for example, you never hit traffic again, but every time you talk politics, your voice cracks once. Would you take it?
Let's answer.
You never hit traffic again. And traffic in London is not cute.
While you're
Okay.
thinking, we'll try and give you an answer. So,
Yeah.
never hit traffic again,
But her
but
voice cracks.
cracks.
You're making a serious point about capitalism or racism or whatever.
And your voice cracks.
Like every time I mention
Every
it,
single time.
and for the
don't
whole time I talk, it's cracking.
No, just once.
Just
but
once.
at the most serious.
Oh, I don't think she's taking it.
Okay. Right.
What do you think?
Surely she'll take the voice crack. I'm thinking it's a one-time thing, and you just say, sorry guys, and then you just continue, no?
At the
Rather
crescendo.
than traffic.
I can't lie. I think we're looking at this as men.
Okay.
As a woman, it's less embarrassing. As a man,
Shut
I
it
feel
down.
like everyone's going to just
Cut the
start laughing
cameras.
now. What do you say?
I had to use public transport, so for me, I don't mind the traffic.
Really?
I don't mind the traffic, but I feel like, I don't really, I do know it's either. I don't really mind.
Yeah.
I don't really mind. Yeah, it's not really an interesting answer, but I think I would go with traffic. Like,
Oh, so you'll have the voice crack.
And have the good boy, with a good speech.
yeah, I'd rather be articulate.
Fair.
Okay, got you.
All right.
Hey, better than me.
You get to write one law that can never be overturned,
Oof, yeah.
but your ringtone is the national anthem and it can't be changed and it has to be played on loud
With lyrics?
with lyrics, everything.
Write a law that can never
loud.
be overturned. And you can do damage with that. All right. What is Busayo thinking? National anthem ringtone out loud.
No matter where she
Because that's going to paint you in a certain light. Imagine
I
family
know.
function.
It would. forward.
God save the king.
I know it's rough.
I think
That's a tough one.
you're gonna firm it and you're gonna take the ringtone and be able to write a law. I don't know what law though, so I'll be interested to hear that. But I think, you'll firm it.
Okay.
I mean, surely, because you can make a big, big difference by changing a law. So I'm going to just say that one too.
Right.
I'm going to just... Oh, this was a tricky one.
I think you are morally opposed to the idea of a law that can't be changed.
Ooh.
Aye, bro.
That's
Mr.
a
8
good
mark,
one.
extra marks in that.
Yeah,
Oh.
10 points explained.
This guy,
Yeah, innit? You know what?
Mr. GCSE.
I
You
hear
got her,
it.
you got
I
her.
hear it. Yes, but I feel like because of how the world has been, I think there's some things I've learned about society where
We need to set things in
we
stone.
need to, we need some,
Make some
So for me,
changes.
there's an unturning law, and it's probably just like you cannot kill a civilian in combat ever. Like this is,
I read that.
That's a
yeah.
good one. Yep, yep.
or something along those lines.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
All right, nobody ever ghosts again. We'll do this last one. No one ever ghosts again on text,
Right.
but your red receipts are permanently on.
No. Oh.
Well, we don't know.
No,
what
it's
to
fine.
do.
Yeah, wrong with it.
So nobody ever ghosts you again, but then everybody gonna see red.
So no one ever goes to me again.
Yeah,
I think that's it.
but they can always see if you've read a message as well.
Yeah, man, I'll stand by it. If I read it, I read it. Yeah, I think you'd think the same. No one ever ghosts you.
I hate my red receipts being on.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes you want to let them know though. No, it's me. Am I moving page?
Yeah, sometimes you want people to know.
What do you think?
Because I'm trying to think, the ghosting one, it's we're either looking at like a dating thing or like, you know, reaching out to people like,
looking at
hey,
the
do
bag.
you want to do something like that? Or, you know, do some work and then they just ghost. So I actually don't know. Can I pass?
What do you think?
Do you know what I'm gonna have to do? I'm ghosted. I
Just
the red
because you don't want
receipts
them to
on,
read.
it's just
It's
just
too
long.
much.
Can't do it.
It's long, and any scenario like that's from mum to like
Where are you?
everything is
Yeah.
long, and you know, especially like with social media, if I had to open every message and respond to it, nah, it's just
True.
Too much, yeah.
I just couldn't. Not to say I get so many, like I'm actually inflating my sense of importance, but I'm just saying like those things. I don't like it.
Yeah.
So that's why. Yeah.
I hear it, I hear it.
You're getting better than me still. Like I said, we are excited to have you here.
For
I
sure.
think, we'll get into it as well, but something that maybe it's us, but I feel like it represents a lot of people in Australia as well. We tap into content that comes out of the UK a lot. Even more so, I think now a little bit more than what comes out of America. I think there's been that swing, right?
Really?
Yeah, I
So
think
for
I think where people find a lot of similarity is that for all of us in Australia, our parents still have accents, whereas the US they don't. And so I think there's a lot to be said of like people know where their roots are from here and what like are still connected to like cultural events and community events and like things like that. Whereas America's not really that for I'd say a lot of ethnicities right anymore. So I think like when we see a lot of the content, we're like, oh, we can see yourself in it, or even if it's a different culture, whatever. You're like, I still get the vibes, the feeling, whatnot. And I think because of that, so much more stuff that we look at, we're like, oh, I'm tapping into this. I'm not that interested in
For sure.
what XYZ is happening in Delaware.
In saying that, and you are one of the voices as well that we tap into, that we like, that we listen to as well. So I think we were interested then as well to know, how did you get here? Who is Busayo twins? And how do we end up here?
It's so mad that there's here for me to have got to. I don't even know, because it's like, what have I
This
actually
point
done?
today, just you being here,
I would say, so in terms of developing my political voice, I would say, I was the president of my student union. So I went to LSE, went to London School of Economics, and it's quite like one of the best universities in I guess the world, but in the UK for economics. And so when you're involved in like the African Caribbean Society, I was the president of African Caribbean Society, it's political, but in your head you don't realize it's political. But because it's a platform now, anything we do was like inspirational to like younger people. So that was like on the uni level, that was kind of like, okay, she's kind of like a mouthpiece in some way to black or ethnic minority students. And then I became the president of the student union. And then I think it was around like Brexit times, people didn't understand what was going on, and I didn't understand. And I was just like, there's that Nigerian ego as well. Sometimes where it's like, why they don't have two heads. People don't understand this, and I want to know what's going on. So I started to like at lunchtime, kind of just listen to like Prime Minister's questions and stuff. Then I'll go online and just be like, but basically, this is what the Brexit conversation's about. Then people will DM me and be like, oh, that was really helpful. Thank you for saying it in the way, you know, that we can understand it rather than all that jargon. And then, so I started to do that, and then I stopped. And then the same thing for COVID. So I was helping people kind of understand the COVID legislation, or like if it's like stay at home or the vaccines or just the general discourse. And then then I stopped again. And then I guess after a while I was like, do you know what, let me just do this more consistently, because I feel like people like it. And I feel like it's the best way to kind of join everything together is you're more consistent. So you can show people the different connections rather than just doing isolated bits of information. So I feel like, so I think it started off by just trying to help people understand the news, make it accessible. And then you forget that like when you're a minority, it's so much more powerful than if like maybe a white person was saying the news.
Because was there anyone doing something like that at the time, or?
There's, you know what I always say, there's probably people doing this kind of, I know there'll be one or two names actually of people, like I'm sure you know, like Kelechi, or like these, there's people that will do something that's like political adjacent to some degree, or social commentary in general. But I feel as though even now I'm probably still kind of like a minority voice, a black voice speaking on this. You know how it probably is in Australia as well, where most of the things we talk about is like film or like beauty or entertainment or the culture, but it's always with the absence of the political side. But our experience is so political that for me it was always like, okay, you're an artist, but back in the day all our art was political. So it kind of felt like, let me add the missing piece. So yeah, I guess that's how I got here.
No politics. I mean, being Nigerian, no politics in the family in that way as well.
Oh, that's a good question.
Or definitely the conversations, I'm sure.
Naturally political people, but maybe not overtly. So my dad's Muslim and my mom's Christian. So how they dissect information is very different. So one person might always be very critical of the West. So when I was growing up in like this British education, I was always very skeptical when they said that Britain like saved these people or like ended colonialism. I'm like, no, my dad said that actually, you know what I mean? So that was that. And then I guess we call like in the city estate living as like the ends. I'm sure you kind of the ends. So growing up there as well, it's quite political because obviously police, housing, youth violence. So you develop a voice, like your whole socialization is quite political in that sense. But it wasn't never explicit. Like in school, I just stayed away from it. I didn't really understand it. So yeah. Yeah,
I hear it. Even for us, like I look back, all the stuff where there's opportunities to be able to be in some kind of a position or take leadership. Like I remember in high school, I don't know if it's just because I was honestly the tallest like guy in the unit, but like pushing Daniel, go for it, do it, like try it, go for this position, whatever. And in my head, I'm like, nah, man, no one has time for any of that. Looking back, even though it's just high school, looking back, I'm like, dude, these are the type of positions and stuff that you should be getting into, just to taste and see, like, okay, from an early age, this is how things are moving. You can see how political high school could, you know what I mean, can get. Like something will happen and you want to try to speak on it at the assembly or whatever, and now the principals all come, hey, Daniel, just keep going. Keep going, you know? Those kind of lessons just there from early, but I feel like there's just something that just keeps us away out of that.
It's not easy thing as well, because you're gonna have to want accountability, and I think with politics it's different. When you're not in politics, you can enjoy all the stardom of being visible and no responsibility. That's why the moment you don't do any, the moment you don't like are not a good role model, you're like, I didn't ask to be a role model. But as in politics, you have to have your life actually kind of has to be a representation of your politics in some degree, which is unfair. But yeah, no, it's really interesting. I feel like one thing that it taught me the most about taking up those positions is similar to accountability, is you kind of empathize a lot more with leaders and difficult decisions. When you're never a leader, you get so used to being a professional consumer or professional electorate. Whereas when I have to look at all the decisions from across the spectrum, I've got to fit in the climate change people and have that kind of like, not compromise, but you know how that fits in with like people working healthcare, the people from middle class. You'll understand actually if you have a business. From working class perspective, businesses might be part of the oppressor group, but then small businesses are very different to the big corporate. So when you have those positions, you're like, you appreciate that politics is not simply a reflection of what you want, but the aggregate of society.
Funny enough, I learned this through church. So like we'll have conversations, we'll be like, oh, far out, like the senior pastor not getting this or that or whatever, all this kind of stuff. And then like we just took a step back at one point. We were like, bro, this guy got to take care of old people, young people,
Yeah.
children, that, and it's like we're complaining about one angle, but he's probably like, I've got to, it's
Send it to
aggregate.
hell,
God.
And
The
I'm
more
like,
to
oh,
hell.
okay, maybe I do not envy
Yeah.
your position at all.
Yeah.
And that looks like it sucks
Yeah.
to deal with. Yeah.
100%.
That's bad. Yeah, I look now. I know this is the way that we're gonna try and navigate stuff in the future. Young people,
Yeah.
let's get. And you're a big advocate on that as well. Why
Young people, yeah.
should
Yeah.
be interested in politics.
Yeah.
Where's that? Where do you see that we have, I guess, even power to be able to be involved?
I feel like they're gonna pass the baton anyway at some point, and you don't prepare for that moment during that moment.
Yeah.
It takes years to kind of articulate, and no one knows when that moment's gonna come. That moment can come tomorrow. For all we know, tomorrow, all our political systems, as we know, are very vulnerable. We don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, and it might parachute us into positions that we weren't prepared for because we've kind of denied our responsibility being political. And I think there's something about with the wider economic system, me and my sister always say this, where it's like we're getting older, but the milestones and the symbols of adulthood are changing. So it feels like we've got this age, but we haven't got the power, we haven't got the money in the same way we used to. So we're kind of being very childish with our adulthood.
Yeah.
And so that's where the tension is coming. It's like 30 years old, for people who are religious, if I'm 30, Jesus died 3 years.
That's the vision.
Are you ready?
3 years, we're still talking about it.
Jesus was miracle. He was on his you know what I mean?
He was on the
like
way out,
there's only
yeah.
3 years left. So what exactly am I doing at 30?
Well,
I'm
we're thinking life
one
is about
day-
to start,
yeah, exactly. So that's what's interesting. I'm like, when I look at our peers, even like not peers, but like Malcolm, or the people that we look up to, like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. These people would like, do you know what I mean? There's
You don't realize how young they died as
so
well.
young. Tupac, Biggie.
Yeah.
25
very
each.
young. Yeah.
Like we've outlived them. I don't know everyone's age, but we've outlived So it's like, what age are we hoping to get in?
Finally
Yeah.
start.
I've been thinking about this so much recently.
We had a
of, like,
rant on a recent episode as
even
well.
even like on there's two angles to this. On a like life stage level, I think we've all cooked it by not having kids at this point. And I don't mean this in like glorifying having kids and all this kind of stuff. I'm like just on like looking at the science of like you have your healthiest children when you're both youngest. You
Yeah.
have your all this kind of and I was like, oh my god, like
I've cooked it.
30's around the corner. It's not looking
What's
like it's
going
at the
on?
same time. There's the privilege or beauty of like choice, right? Where it's like I've gotten to go like, oh, let me make sure I pick the right person fully and this and that one. But it's I don't know, it's complicated. And then the other side of to what you were saying is like, I think men in this generation are even worse with the whole like not growing up. And I only
Nah,
I only
come to UK to trash me.
I only say
How
this
long have you been in the UK? How long have you been here? Since you
a
came?
couple days.
Don't take a long time to see. But yeah,
No, it's. I was
gonna come
listening to
for
someone
you.
saying that this is the first, like the last 100 years or so, is the first generation where there's no marker for men into adulthood, right? Like previous
Rites of
generations,
passage.
tribes, villages, whatever it might be around the world. It's like there's a rite of passage that now you're a man. We don't have that. We just kind of roll into like, I'm older. I'm
Yeah.
older. Okay, I really should have a kid now. You know, I should have a wife. I should
Yeah,
have.
yeah.
Like, there's nothing actually transferring you. And it's like, as well as like, as content and the way we consume has changed, it's like what a 30-year-old man watches and what a 12-year-old boy watches is both
Same.
kaisen up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is both
The same thing.
watching the same football, is both playing the same video game. Like, this is really weird.
Yeah.
I think for women, there's probably a little bit of, I think
There's
women are more
similar.
serious in general as well. But it's just like, it's this weird,
Yeah.
like, phenomena, which I'm like, I don't know what the solution is to this.
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
Listen.
there's no question. I'm just saying.
I am a victim of men
Of
not
childish
growing up.
men?
Yeah. So me jumping for the answers. But yeah, no, it's so strange, and I do think this is why. Not to get political into it, but it's
everything.
like
I mean, that's what you do.
Yeah, wow, yeah. It's like this is why the anger towards politicians in mismanaging the economy is so much deeper than they think it is. This is not about your 4-year cycle and what Wikipedia page you get when you finish. This is about you creating generational impact to the point where biological impact, to the point where we're aging communities where people are not having kids. Yes, part of it is choice, but the choice is a false choice because often the economy isn't great and you haven't, the patriarchy has allowed men to like not have to work on certain things. And this is not being that person of all men, but the patriarchy attacks men the most. So it's like, you're now a victim of the system. So what women had to do is
Very
find out alternative things.
Yeah.
We created the sisterhood as a protective barrier. And now we are so self-sufficient to the point where it's like, if not for the fact that you guys, we need your, do you know what I mean, your sperm to have a baby, in some instances, because we can do it in different ways. Listen, we don't need you. And that's what we were doing. And that's what we were doing.
We were trying to figure out, we're like, well, what do women really need men for? And it sounds sad, but it's like, a childish man is worse than having no man.
Oh,
Yeah,
100%.
Like,
Sure.
that's
It's another
horrible.
child. Yeah, because it's a
Sure.
child.
Yeah.
It's just the
Sad.
yeah. How is it in
Big-
Australia?
Just a big child. In terms of the men,
Yeah.
oh, I think that it's the same conversations that are
side.
happening. No, because I mean, I'm not in, I've been off the market for a long time, but
Okay.
it's the same conversations that are being had over there. Whereas, and I think we had a conversation about this not long ago, where the women, you see them and you just see the trajectory of their life, and they're definitely much more ahead than the men are.
Careers, everything.
Career-wise, even just the mentality as well, so far ahead when you look at it compared to the men. And so I think, it's definitely the same conversations that are being had here. The women there are saying there's no good men. The women here are saying there's no good men. So we don't know where they're supposed to go to find the good men. But it's it's a pandemic.
It's a shame, but it's again, the other side of my head is also like, as I said before, like, men are victims of the system as well, and I feel like because they also benefit from the patriarchy, they also don't get that empathy from society because these young men sometimes who socialized them, who didn't give them the role models, who removed their social nets. So now that we can order Deliveroo, who replaced the idea for them to hunt lions?
Exactly.
No, you didn't give them nothing to replace it with. So now I think men are scrambling to find out where can they fit in as a man, and it then comes out in being sometimes aggressive or being like putting women down, because that's the last thing that they have often,
they can do.
So
We might be able to go into the angle, because right now, Melbourne, specifically where we're from in Victoria, in Australia, is hot. Like, there's a lot going on in terms of...
Not in a good way. Like, the block is hot.
Yeah, the block
okay,
is hot.
I was gonna say let's see if it translates to
we're talking
like,
about, right?
really where like,
It's lit.
The block is hot.
We're talking serious stuff. I'm talking about it's lit in Melbourne. It's a bit like in recent times, like over the past couple months in Melbourne, there's just been a lot going on. Not even recent, the past couple of years probably.
I think a few years.
But things have
back.
been ramping up there, right? It's in a lot of like youth crime, violence, all that kind of stuff.
I've seen you've got Australian drill.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
It's entered.
Yes,
It's become a thing now.
Some of it is good music, but it's just they are serious about the life.
Yeah.
As
for no reason.
Yeah.
For
No, it is for no reason. Like, literally.
It's political.
Everything's
The
political.
thing is, it's probably similar to here, where it's like, this is for it started for no reason, but now there's a reason.
yes,
Right,
we've
yeah.
created reasons.
Like,
Okay.
now that something has happened, there's a reason as
Now
to
you can
retaliation.
say now you've actually got ops.
yes.
And now you can talk about ops.
It's
Whereas
like serious.
we didn't need to have ops,
Ops,
because
yeah,
we're all
yeah.
going back to a nice double-story house,
Yes.
you know,
Right.
Yes.
big land.
Yeah. They've
parents are you know what I mean?
imported. They've imported.
But there's been an infusion of issues and whatnot. So I'm like,
Also, our drillers are not just black ancestry. Like, they're like the Lebanese, Iraqi, and Islanders as well. Like, everyone's on drill music and living drill lifestyle.
Okay.
Yeah, as well as some of the African youth.
Okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
it's a bit different in that sense. I think here we just see Afro-Caribbean.
Yeah,
mainly.
mainly where in the inner cities, because we don't dominate the cities.
Do you guys have white drillers?
I don't listen to drill,
Yeah.
so I don't know what they're doing with that right now.
Yeah.
But I believe if it's similar to our UK rap and everything like that, there's definitely
There must
like
be some-
there'll be people that do it or jump on a drill beat
Yep.
versus it being that they identify as a drill rapper.
Yeah.
I'm wondering from your point of view, because I think you've spoken about, like, is it like slacktivism in terms of when it comes to social media and being involved, trying to speak out and whatnot. Everyone gets hot when we see a lot of these things. We get for good reason as well. Like, everyone's like, yo, okay, something needs to change. We need to start doing something. But then it goes, okay, but what?
Yeah.
You know? And I'm wondering from like what you look at and what you see, and even because there's history as well here of like a lot of youth crime and violence and things like that too. So what have you seen is the way that people should start to approach these type of issues? Like what can you actually, especially as a young person, like we're meant to be getting involved. Like what do we do?
I I feel like I'm going to sound like this old lady, but in terms of like accountability. But I think first of all, just making all these social ills or systemic challenges everyone's problem. I feel like sometimes you can experience something and you think just because you've experienced it that you're actually contributing to its solution. And there's that thin line between going, government should, not really a thin line, probably quite a thick line, but the government should put in policies and interventions that create a healthy communities, right? To stop crime and to make sure we live healthy, long lives. At the same time, society is responsible for society because the government can't legislate every single part of our interaction. The government can't legislate us to get up when an elderly person needs the seat.
Absolutely.
The government can't legislate when you see another person, smile at them. The government can't legislate community spirit.
There's no law for the heart.
Exactly, no law for the heart. Did you say for the heart?
Yeah,
exactly. So that is where we have to stand in, because at the end of the day, you can't say because the government hasn't increased social housing that we should allow homeless people just to have no homes. Like to what degree now do we step up and fulfill our roles as citizens? And I think people, just as I said before, we become glorified passive people who only care about what they want to care about. So I feel like the first thing we need to do is be like, this is my problem. What are we going to do? Like, always see your contribution to this and be like, all right, cool. I didn't create homelessness, but I know that each month I just go to the local food bank and I give something, or whichever it is. So I think that's the main thing people can do. And then, as I said, grow up. Ultimately, it's growing up. I feel like there's this we romanticize what it is to grow up. It means, yes, you don't have to tell your parents where you're going anymore. You can dress how you want to go. You can have all these amazing experiences. Of course, that's the greatness about being an adult. But it comes with a lot of other stuff. And I feel that's where the irritation is. It's like, you know, it's like saying I want to be a parent, but you don't want to look after the child, but you love the idea of being a parent. And it's like, outside of telling people I've just had a baby, feed the baby.
There's a lot of duties and responsibilities.
Feed the baby. So I know that's a feed the baby.
That's the one. It's true. It's crazy you have to actually say that as well. It's just clocking it for people. It's mad.
I hear it. I was going to say, like, going back to the law of the heart conversation, I think we were talking about it a while back, where it's like, even within the African community, that sense of like correcting other people's children. Like when you see them in public, you see someone doing a bad thing and just being like, hey, you know, like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that for? And like being able to, you know, correct them in like a loving way as well. Where it's like, I care for you. You're not my child, but I care for you because I see you, you know, going down the wrong path. So it's that sense of like, yes, we are all part of this community, whether you're African, white, whatever you are. But it's like, let's correct each other out of love so that, you know, we stop something from happening. Like you're seeing something going down and you know that it's going to end with someone being hurt, someone being injured or whatever. It's like, all right, let's actually be able to do that with one another as well. And I really like, what you were saying there.
It goes back to that thing that we all grew up with, is it takes a village. I feel like people forget that, like, when they said the village, it means that none of our parents, teachers, doctors were ever doing their job in isolation. It was always all of us. It was the reason why the kids were kept safe, because all of us kept them safe. It wasn't because you had the best mum or best parent. That's not how it is. Otherwise, that means you're saying people without parents are doomed to failure. That's not the case. Society has always been this community, but obviously with capitalism and individualism and all this stuff, it reduces everyone to this like productivity tool, and that's it.
Like a cog
in a machine. Exactly.
I really like the concept of everything is political, because when I first came across the name, be honest, like my thing's like, everything is political. And then when you think about it, you're like, yeah, it really is. Like everything is political. Because it's like, I think about it, I'm like, all right, kids were raised in like a village environment. Why is there no village environment? Because everybody's parents are working 2 jobs. Why is everyone's parents working 2 jobs? And it's like, this really is political. Right? Like everything is political. And it's just like, I don't know where what's the word? Like, how do you get it back to, because where it wasn't necessarily perfect either, but it's like back to a controllable time schedule, controllable income, all this kind of stuff when it's reached this point? Or is this just like a tipping point and it's like, all right, now we just see what rolls after?
Yeah, I feel as though, like, for me personally, I feel like the empire is crashing out. So the old guard never hand over things peacefully. They've never done it. They've always tried to hold on longer than they're supposed to, and that's why they go out sad. And any small bit of their like legacy that we could have held on to and be like, right, we can't, right, anymore. So what is happening is that because they know that their end is coming and it's inevitable, like it's unsustainable. At the end of the day, everyone is just one political conversation away from just undoing the whole fabric of society. We've never, with the addition of social media, we're now very much cognizant of all the different genocides happening. It's a lot for an individual to take. You've got long-term health conditions overwhelming all our healthcare systems because we didn't deal with COVID. We never recovered from the 2008 financial crisis. You know, the populism is on the rise, the far right immigration. So much stuff is going on where you can't even focus on just like the normal policies that you would do that would actually distinguish two parties. So because of that, we have to basically prepare for the end of this. So the issue isn't what we're going through now. It's like, yeah, great. You at the end of the day, in 5 years' time, all the parties that are the main parties won't be the main parties because you've shown us what you've done for the last 15, 10 years. Rubbish. You're all rubbish. So now we're going to have to go. That's why we're all looking for the people on like the most extremes. But we have to prepare for the end of this. So what do you want after this? Okay, great. What political party would you want? Not what you have as options. What do you want? And then now invest in them. Make sure that your green parties or your sustainable parties are having the investment that they need. Make sure you're amplifying those voices, making sure that like they're, you know what I mean? Making sure that the whole global socialist or people's or whatever party, whichever kind of lens you look at it from, is being built. So when the old guard finally are like done, we are in position.
Yeah, you've got something to walk into kind of thing, right?
And I think that's where with the left or the center, that is where you can see they failed because they weren't creating a new path forward, especially the left. It was more like purity politics. Purity politics for me, I don't agree with purity politics. It sounds like you have high standards, but what you're saying, there's no room for anyone who slightly disagrees. So once you're infighting now, the right don't have anything that unifies them other than, not the working class right, but the big business technocrat right. They just want profit. They can disagree on everything, but if it makes profit, they'll link up.
That's very true.
They haven't got that thing of like, oh, you're a rich person from this country, I don't like you. They're like, let's unite capital versus the world. But we'll be like, well, you don't really understand this, or you use this language. And again, there's discourse, there's private conversations to sharpen the movement. But outside world now, we've got like 50 aspiring left-wing parties who don't want to collaborate. There's no future, whereas the right are just like
immigration, like money, and we hate the immigrants.
Immigration, we all hate them. Right, great, and then we'll get you in and we'll discuss the details after. You know what I mean? And that's the issue. We're not prepared for the new. We think it's just gonna come. It's like, no, everything here. If you don't plan, just know you're gonna be now the victim of someone else's plan.
Do you think the? Oh, okay.
No, yeah, I was gonna say I really like this point because it was a conversation that I saw was coming out a lot during Kamala and Trump in America. I saw a lot of people, because I saw a particular podcast did Democrat and both Christian, Democrat and Republican. Why did I forget the name of them? Having just a discourse like, okay, how we both have this kind of faith background, but yet we're sitting on these different sides. And they were saying this thing around like, sure, you don't agree with these figures that are at the top or who's in power right now, whatever it might be. But okay, what about on your local level now? Who are you building up? Like, who are you investing in? Okay, maybe, you know, the country is this, but your local party can actually operate separately. It can be different. Like, it can reflect something that you actually are proud of and whatnot. So it's like starting to invest on that level and then building up to that. I like that because it's like you're building that up, and then when it is that time, then you've been investing in that. You've been understanding, you know, the character of people. You've been refining whatever it might be that you want, and then now when it's time, people have been lifted up, and there's a movement kind of thing. So it's crazy, to look at it that way. I think. Sorry, you're gonna say?
I lost what I was gonna say.
Should have grabbed it.
Yeah.
No, it's true, and I think one element that I feel like social media is doing, but I don't think as people we've really explicitly said this is the answer as well to the new political, I guess, frontier that we're approaching is the media. We need a strong. I don't want to say left. I use left wing loosely. I don't necessarily identify with any particular like, you know, party. It gets a bit technical, and you're like, oh, these are things for like privileged people who like to talk about wings. But at the same time, it's like the media. When you think about Rupert Murdoch and the Sun and all these people like almost single-handedly orchestrated the rise of Trump, the publicity that he's getting. Remember, we can't connect with everyone. There's going to be people that look at us on this and just will never look at our stuff because they don't want to look at stuff from people who are not white or not of a certain age or a certain class. Who's going to get to the people? that would never listen to what we're doing, the mainstream media, they are still accessing these people. So if we haven't got, and how do they know that an MP has done something wrong or immigrants? It's because of the media.
Yeah.
The media can inflate anything. They can tell Brexit. Well, you know about us and Brexit.
I'm so sorry.
The media did that. The media did that because no one knew. Most people were born with Brexit. So how do we know the answers why it's bad or good? You wouldn't have that conversation, but the media can create such. So that's why sometimes it doesn't matter the MP, because if the MP is doing bad stuff but it's not being reported, you're just going to think they're a nice MP anyway. So we need that media, and that's why media anyway, when it comes to social media, that's who our politicians are. Those are the new politicians. Because with one interview, you can make or break a narrative.
True.
You know, and that's why people say "Make America Great Again." That was not a political comment. It's more like it's a buzzword. Yeah. It's more similar to an advert.
Can I be honest? That's probably what was so solid about Trump's whole campaigns and everything. They marketed it so well.
MAGA.
A whole statement, the caps, the this, the that. It's like you just get people to rally behind something simple, right? Like, we just want to make America great again. That's a simple phrase that is very complex. But it's like, in its statement, it's like, yeah, man, I'm with it.
For that.
I'm with it.
You know? And then the left will be like, it's a pseudo over contrary, interconnected, bit of a systemic.
Come up with something better.
And the average guy's like, right. yeah. Someone just said, like, but do we get free housing? Like, that's what they want. So yeah, this is what we're up against. We're up against this convoluted, like, left wing who are really well intentioned. You know what I mean? They're really well intentioned, and it is an intellectual conversation. A lot of the things they want, like, to ask an individual who has to try and meet their daily needs, talk about systemic issues. That takes the average person out of like a.
Yes, I don't have time for that.
Yeah. But then the right, or the technoclass, whatever, they will be like, it's the small boats. You haven't got
like
jobs.
That?
No.
Yes.
And they're like, simple, really, small boats. And now it's like, I feel comfortable knowing that I'm voting for small boats. Like, you know what I mean?
Without looking at any,
it doesn't even. Despite the fact that the number of small boats are like minuscule compared to the people who are coming here legally. It's so not true that I'm so confused as to how we have like a new political party that has based it on complete lies. Yeah. And then you wonder, the people who are working in the Home Office or the people who work with immigration can't just release a statement that says it is untrue.
That's big facts.
There's Canva. Are people not using like put it in nice font? Just say it's a lie. But it just feels like, what is it? So yeah, we're in a bad place.
Does it get tiring? So if we're talking about everything is political, is that not also very taxing? Especially and even the position that you now get put into to be that person. I mean, we've got here to be able to have these chats.
Yeah, I'm so tired.
I was gonna ask, like, does everybody just go, she's political, like, around you? And it's like, do you ever feel like, hey guys, let's have a normal conversation?
Yeah.
Normal conversation.
Yeah, I feel like if you don't know me, you're gonna approach it like, this person just really wants to talk about politics, or they're very serious. Intense. And I can be sometimes I do it to troll people, because I will see someone like eating or someone will be like, oh, do you want to go to McDonald's? I'm like, I'm not complicit in genocide, sorry, but it's to make everyone uncomfortable, because why should we feel comfortable that you get to do that, but I can't say it? You can still have it, but I'm gonna let you know that's so. People can sometimes break like that, and I play into it, but at the same time, it's like, know it, because I think what's important is that I always say, me and my friends always say, like, I don't party with the people I can't protest with. It's not the absence of one.
I don't party. Okay, yeah.
It's the fact that, why can't the people that I'm turning up with also be people that if we need to go on a protest, we can protest? Yeah. Why must it be I'm taking people from different parts of my life? This is what makes politics ad hoc and outside. It's almost like a colleague, where naturally it's like, all of us sitting here, if there was like something racist or something to do with age inappropriate stuff that we all had an issue with, let's go there. We might go to brunch before. We might go shisha in the evening, but at the same time, why are we so against it being part of our like daily experience? So for me, it's like, because then I'll also be the funnest person you ever hang out with, and now you have to try and like compartmentalize that. And I think that's important. I don't like the idea of like politics being a type of person who you can't ever engage with, and then now you don't like politics but then the people who you give so much attention to are not political. I don't understand that.
This is a good point, because in my mind, you typically look at the people that are interested in politics, whatever, and you're like, you're there. Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, we know some We know someone is exactly like that, and it's just like, dude, can you just try to be
loosen
normal?
up. Yeah.
Just relax.
Yeah.
you know? But I like this analogy now of why can't we all just be on that, but still be the turn up at the same time kind of people? But it's just, I don't know. There's something that I guess maybe is there a discontentment almost that kind of comes upon you sometimes when you start to just see what goes on, and you're clocking things going on in the world. There's a party that's like, how are we just able to just be here and enjoying when it's like this is what is happening? Do you know? Are you blind? Like this is the reality. Like I feel like that's why people end up being they're in their own kind of world.
Yeah,
you know?
There's definitely a frustration. There's definitely a frustration or irritation. Just like anyone, to be honest, anyone. Because I would not say that to be political, you have to have a social media profile that's political. That's reducing it, because there's so many activists or academics who are contributing to this discourse, but they're not doing it on podcasts. So it doesn't mean that they don't exist, right? And obviously, I'm not creating new knowledge. I'm just synthesizing it and trying to make it information. So I don't own this information, but it's frustrating. I try to be like, okay, before I was heightened in my politics, people had to be patient with me. I'm sure when I was living my normal life, people were looking at like, don't you know about like the invasions of this country or this? And when we were going to McDonald's or Starbucks and people were telling us for years that you shouldn't, they were probably like, at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like part of us being complicit in all these things is because it was intentional from the powers that be to make it so hard for us. Do you know what I mean? So I get it. Like, of course, it's working. I'm a victim of this thing too. But at the same time, that's when I go back to being an adult, when I'm like, but what do you need to see at this stage? What is the difference between you not liking politics and you, because it's not in your preferred packaging, you're now saying, I'm going to not engage? That's a bit childish to say because it's not fun or cool or...
too much effort.
Yeah, or rappers not rapping about a politics that I can't engage in it. How old are we? Do we need it? Like, do you know what I mean? It feels a bit strange. But as a child, totally understand. But when you're adults, I'm like, okay. But then when you have kids... These are the things I just dislike. Like when it's like, let's just say men, for example, if they say, oh, I'm not into politics or whatever, and they'll have daughters, and I'm like, okay, you're not into politics, that's great. But your daughter, who probably, if they're my friend or something, and they're not white or something, she's going to have an experience of misogynoir that you now can't even support her with. You won't even be able to navigate the system. You don't even have the language to identify. You won't even know that taking my child to a school that is maybe all white and she's the only minority, you wouldn't even be able to understand what her experience is. No one said you can't, because obviously there's different reasons why people want to go to different schools. Obviously there's outcomes and experiences, but to not even be aware that, let me check in with my child because they're the only black person in the school. Or have you experienced this? Or that is where it starts. And that's why I feel like we will be a liability to the next generations if we don't engage in politics in any particular way. So it's frustrating. And I even feel like breaks are needed. I've learned 100%. It's to carry it is so hard because you can't stop this as an individual. You know?
This is what I was gonna ask, because like, you know, obviously you're saying like you don't go to, I was gonna say McDonald's, but like you're wearing an Apple Watch, right? I've got an iPhone on me. Like, as in, how there is no real way to disconnect from this matrix that has been created, but at the same time, like I could fully almost hear it if someone was like, all right, hypocrite, like, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, what's the balance with all this?
I think it's intention. So I would say number one, the discourse, if you're against suffering, you wouldn't look for ways to justify why you are complicit in suffering because someone else is complicit. So I feel like the intention behind what you're saying isn't to be like, guys, let's have perspective. It's to be like, it's like the oppression Olympics or like complicit Olympics. No, you did this. And number two, when it comes to like, it's good that you brought that up in terms of Apple Watch and Nike or whatever that people wear. It's like, okay, from the moment that we heard, the moment that it became a mainstream genocide, I have not gone to McDonald's.
Right.
I can't take back what I did before.
True.
I did not get this watch, for example, during the Congolese genocide, during the height of Congolese genocide. The moment I do, I will not buy a new iPhone, at least in this context. I will not travel to Dubai during the Sudanese genocide. It doesn't make any sense to me. So for me, it's more like, we are all hypocrites, but in the sense of we are all victims of the system. Hypocrites is more like, I'm doing this and I want you to not do this. No, because I'm not shopping at Apple. I've got an Apple item that is still here. It's like recycling. It's like sustainability. It's like, no one said don't consume, but consume ethically. And people want you to be like, and this is why people don't like to engage in politics, because they think it's purity politics. I have to sit here to make sense in some regard, but to sit here and have a powerful voice, I must now, all my clothes must be made in this ethical place. And I'm telling you, as somebody who is also a victim, these are the small things we can all do so we get to a bigger place. We are not the ones producing this, but we're complicit. So there's a lot of people that say that, you know, or even when it comes to covering the different genocides, it's like there's a lot more that goes to like Palestine or other than Sudan and Congo, and it's so true.
It's true.
But those people are also not talking about Congo or Sudan. So is it that you're upset that no one's talking about them, or is that you want people to support you in talking about them? And that's my problem. People who do nothing always tell you how to do your thing better. And I'm like, okay. You know what I mean? And it's valid. And the thing is, it's so valid. And there's so much anti-blackness in activism. Even as someone who's black, sometimes you feel bad about, you've only got a certain amount of time to lend your voice to certain topics. It really should be about issues that affect people who look like me, you know? But as I said, suffering, even though they're systemic, justice is supposed to be post-racial, you know, or there's no supposed to be race in it. If someone's suffering, I'm not going to say, oh, bro, how does that help Sudan and Congo by not talking about Palestine? How does it help Palestine by not talking about Sudan and Congo? So,
Those ones, always gets me when I see in comments, like, there'll be something mad that's happened, and then, like, it'll be reported. Which, again, all of this I hear with reason, but it'll be reported or something, and people are like, oh my gosh, that's crazy, this is wild. And someone's like, okay, but let's not forget that. I hear it, but come on, guys.
This
is mad as well. Like,
and if you're on the ground, the funny thing is, if you're actually on the ground, when you go to these Palestinian protests, everyone is holding up signs saying we're anti-imperialism, we're anti-colonial, we're anti-apartheid. They put it under the systemic umbrella, because at the end of the day, even the order saying once they're free, because it does sound like there's an order of preference, but let's just say once Palestine is free, we've got Haiti, we've got so many other, the list is long, so get ready, guys. It's not after there's a ceasefire, we go back to, no, we've got Lebanon, we've got Yemen, we've got places, we've got things to do. Even as a Nigerian, we've got things to do. So it's just the first, as people say, you can't choose. There's no perfect victim in a story. There could be a random boy who's walking home and he's killed, and that now sparks a whole riot. You will never know, but then someone else is killed and it doesn't even make the front page. We never know which story is going to be that story that lights the flame. So what we do is that we do what we have, and we make we make the most noise with it. So then we keep people's attention on it, and we can do more work. So yeah, it's a tricky job. We're all complicit, but like we have to just start somewhere, I think.
I was watching one of your clips on capitalism, and you said a very smart word that you were basically saying it's stupid to support it.
Anti-intellectualism.
Anti-intellectualism.
That's mad.
And my initial thing again was I think I lean capitalist. I don't. Now I'm like, I don't think I lean capitalist. But what do you think is the right ism for you? Like, is socialism, communism? I think we all go, that one probably doesn't really work too well either.
I feel like it's a great question, and even me, I don't have one that I feel like. The issue is that no other social economic system has had a chance to fail and learn and rebuild. They're all not going to be perfect, because once human beings touch a system, it's going to be,
we'll find a way to skew it for power.
Then when you add democracy on top of that, wow, even stupid minds have the right to vote. But that's what democracy is. It's your right to be stupid and vote, and that's why I agree. Like, it's your right to be stupid and vote. That's why the media is important. Because
do you guys have to vote here? Like, is it compulsory?
No. I don't think it's compulsory. I think they encourage it. Maybe it's something like, but you don't. If you don't vote, nothing happens. No.
We get fined.
We get fined if you don't vote.
Oh, we don't. Oh no. Yeah, it's not. No, we don't get that. No.
Do you prefer that?
I've never been fined, so I'm not sure. But
do you prefer like everyone, like for it to be mandatory, or you like if you want to vote, you vote?
I think now I'm like, everyone should vote. Everyone should vote, at least to show yourself in the system, let your vote be heard, even if you're gonna spoil the ballot or whatever. But I don't think people not voting. Yes, because for people who I guess we think are sensible or on the right side of history, when you don't vote because you're angry at the system, it's never the majority are never the ones who are creating chaos. They're just the ones who show up. There's always that silent vote. We said this in Brexit as well. It wasn't the Brexiteers that won it. It was the it was the third, that silent third, who made the minority votes seem like the majority votes. So it's like if the third had just shown up, a lot of them we probably wouldn't have left the EU. But most people who are softened to the idea of like globalization or progressive politics are less likely to vote because number one, probably just complacent, but also you're trying to prove a point to the system, and it's like you're too busy trying to prove a point to the system that I don't vote.
And the way the system works is that based on votes we work. So yeah, okay.
Like there was literally something I had so I did a TEDx earlier this year, and there's a line in it that was kind of like it was talking about justice, and it was like, if you basically paraphrasing, but if you just remain hopeful when you don't actually have action, only the actions of the oppressors count. All of us can have the greatest hearts, but only the actions of the oppressors count, and that's what we're seeing. We are not seeing the hearts of the people who care. It's seeing the people that are willing to go outside hotels and protest asylum seekers. But the people who don't, the people that are against xenophobia are not we're not outside protesting in the same way. So it's like we're only going to see the people that are causing trouble.
Exactly.
This is a nice conversation. That hope without works is dead, essentially, right?
Yes,
like, that's the way it's kind of been put.
Yes.
Hope without works is dead, essentially. What does the action, I guess, probably like look like if it's to be hopeful? I've got it even here. Like it says, hope what is it? Hope is dangerous if it isn't paired with action. Right? So what does that responsibility look like for people in everyday, even, to be hopeful? Because on the other side, you're saying it's also it's detrimental to just be hopeful in the long term, or even apathy towards being involved and playing up and doing your part. So what does it look like for the everyday person to actually try to add some action into that?
It is with doing what you can with what you have. The issue with the society is that there's billions of people in this world, and because so many people are not doing their part, the people that are feel like they're carrying the world on their shoulders. If everyone just did their 0.003%, activism is so easy. But because for the people who don't, we have to overcompensate. So that's why now we have to be like, live a life of like, I can't buy this, I can't do this. If everyone just boycotted these things quickly, we would have put them to their knees in 2 weeks and moved on. But now
and then they have to get in line, and now
there we go. But because we're overcompensating, the people that are going to the protest, when you're not joining the protest, we're extending these genocides. We're not doing our bit. So hope is basically do what you have. No one said you need to house a homeless person, but contribute to, if you can feed them a shelter, or even vote on their behalf. Sometimes people are saying, I don't have anyone I want to vote for. Okay, cool. Our privilege, most of us, is that a lot of these MPs, we're going to have the same fate, whether it's you or that.
Big
but
facts,
some people who might have physical disabilities might actually need us to actually vote for a particular party on our behalf. Since it doesn't matter to us, who does it matter to? And sometimes you have to vote that way. And I think that's what it is. It's about doing what you can with what you have. It's not using religion as a paralysis tool. Just giving it to God. You keep giving it to God. That's why that James, I think it's James chapter 2 verse 26, the faith that works is dead, is important, because it's like God will look at you and say, yeah, you hoped for peace.
But you did not.
You hoped for peace. But I didn't tell you that hoping for peace was going to do anything for you.
It's true. I grew up in a part of America called the Bible Belt, and you can imagine the type of Christians that are there. And like when it would come around election time, my parents were obviously not voting because we're not, citizens, whatnot. But pretty much everybody in the church that we were going to was like, we just don't vote because we just leave it up to God. Oh, wow. And my parents were like, are these people stupid? like, are they actually dumb? Like, this is crazy.
Literally, like, this is, for the last 2 years, I think I've really reckoned with like activism and religion. I think that's been my like bone of contention. I just felt like activists sometimes didn't have like, sometimes the morality you feel like can only come from someone who believes in God, because it's like,
you should see humanity as so important,
right? But then the other side of it is just like religious people, it's like you leave it to God to the point where you now don't want to do your works. You're not even following what Jesus was doing. Jesus didn't sit there and go, okay, well, I'm gonna hope that you lot are good. Even the performance of a miracle, even flipping tables, even there's so many times in the Bible it says, stand up for the oppressed, stand with the widows. That's our main thing. Getting rich is not a task in the Bible, right? Wealth is contested in terms of what being a wealthy person is. But he always tells widows. That's why when it comes to war, when you hear about like rape as a weapon, trigger warning of rape as a weapon of war, or children, soldiers, or amputees. The reason why it disgusts people is because these are the people that God explicitly says we must stand beside. How dare us as people, we're seeing children dying and the world has not stopped. We're so far gone. And then as a religious person, you're telling me there's a verse in the Bible that you could interpret as saying, do nothing in the face of injustice. That's why religion is losing its gravitas, because it's like, because you're so obsolete.
Horrible.
Atheists don't need to believe in God to know that genocide is bad. So what is the purpose of religious people? What is the purpose of you if we don't?
You're no longer the backbone of society.
At all. So
we're walking through. Sorry, I don't want you to lose it.
Yeah, I got this.
Hold it bit. We were walking through France last week. Recently. We're walking there, but and we're just looking around, like we're seeing churches and schools, and we're like, damn man, like they really, religion really did that. You know what I mean? Building society. And then I just clocked, I'm like, yo, but it's not doing anything right now.
It's not. Like,
it's kind of crazy and painful to see, like, what is the source that it holds? We had Dr. Umar actually on our podcast.
I've not seen that episode. What, Dr. Umar? Wait, where did you meet?
This is in Australia. So we had Dr. Umar on, right? And he asked me this question. He said, show me one thing that religion has done, bro. He put me, oh my God. Like,
silence.
One thing about Dr. Umar, if you ever talk to him, we learned this the hard way. You have to, like, what's the word? You got to yell back.
Right.
Otherwise, no one gets a word in.
You got to take control of the conversation.
And it's like American style.
Because he does like political conversation and entertainment at the same time.
So
he's like,
he just getting watched. He was sitting in the CEO right now. He
didn't look at me one time.
It was him and I going boxing round. I was in the final round here, and he pretty much pieced me up with uppercut, left hook, and now I'm against the ropes.
I don't know.
The coach is trying to throw the towel, but I'm telling him I've got a little bit more left in me. And then he hits me with the final one. He's like, yo, tell me one thing religion has done for... I think he said for black people, I lost my head in terms. I didn't even think about like during apartheid in South Africa. Like there's just so many options. I had nothing else. What did I even say? I was like, helped build schools and you know. But then I was just like thinking about it, going back to like being in streets of France, and I'm like, dang, now. The PR is absolutely shocking. So I understand that for you now, trying to reconcile those two things, it's almost near a bit impossible. So where do you land then now?
I'm still trying to find my way because when you're not, I don't also consider myself as like a strong Christian in the sense of I know every like scripture. You know them people where you feel like you must go to church every Sunday and do Bible study on Wednesday to feel like I'm a religious person, that I have like authority over what I say. So that can sometimes stop me, sometimes feeling like you can criticize people who are well read but have no action. So there's that contention of being like, where's my authority coming from? And they can sometimes use that against you and being like, well, they can quote off all these things and you're like, well, what has that got to do with you know, standing with the needy type of thing? It's difficult, it's a journey, but one thing I promised myself is that I wouldn't not believe in God because of people. I think for people to stop me believing in God, this is me saying I don't think God is who I think he is. It must be the case that it's man that is flawed, and therefore when I do read the Bible and I can explicitly see that it's like, as I said, stand with the widow, I'm like, oh, it's not the Bible, or it's not God. It's the fact that a lot of religious people, in most religions, there's certain people like pastors or imams who hold all the power in your head. So you don't feel like you have to be well read because you give it to them to tell you. A lot of the time, if your pastor tells you now to stand up for these things, you would. But because we don't feel like we have authority, because it's very like patriarchal, it's very much like we go to church to get the word.
Listen to daddy and then from there.
Like we can access God in so many different ways. And also who gave you the authority? Who told you that you are? So because of the structure of religion, how we practice it, it makes a lot of us feel like, oh, our pastor didn't mention it. Or I can't even bring it up and say, how come you haven't spoken about genocide all this time? Or why are you still taking people to do pilgrimage in Israel during the genocide? Because we are insecure. We have low self-esteem in our own religion because we're new. Or we're sinning. So we're like,
because if he points back at me and I did it.
That's the other eye situation there.
Exactly.
Man. It's not.
That's what it is. But in one way it's good because it makes you feel like, okay, try and, be better in your faith so then people
take you seriously.
Yeah, even in Christianity, it says like people are gonna follow what you do. If what you do cause people to stray, stop doing that thing. Even if it's not a sin, but if it causes others to stray, stop doing that. So it does try and encourage you, but at the same time, it's like they say how you act in society, or how, if you're a religious person, how you act or how you come to God is how you see God. If you think God is a heavy-handed person who's so critical, you're going to be scared to do stuff. You're going to run away. Yeah. But if you see God as a loving father who will scold you with the left hand but hug you on the right, it changes even the concept of hypocrisy, because you're like, I'm a failed, but I've come to repent and I try. So however you see God, and a lot of people see God as this heavy-handed. So it's really just like coercion. When you see how people do their religion, it's very much like, but if you felt like you could ask God questions and be like, oh my God, let me bring this to you, let me see, or ask my pastor questions, it creates a different type of activism for you.
For sure.
So you're gonna
funny enough, you started mentioning things that I wanted to say. There's a scripture that is what dictated the way I vote nowadays. It's Isaiah 1:17. It says, learn to do right, seek justice, defend the oppressed, take up the cause of the fatherless, and plead the case of the widow. And that simple 5 elements has kind of just framed like, all right, when I look at parties, when I think of issues and all this kind of stuff, I'm like, where are the fatherless? Where are the widows? Like,
who's looking after these?
Exactly. Right. And then where's justice needed? And it's like, just became so much easier. And it's like, that is the element. Because I went through that phase where I was like, I don't think my faith, or at least the Western expression of it, and me align at all. At all.
I crash out at every service.
It's not even service, like what I'm seeing online, all this kind of stuff. I'm like, I borderline hate these guys. Some of that. You know what I mean? I'm like, I can see why nobody wants to be part of this anymore. And so I'm like, oh, that's tough. And then when I came across, I was like, all right, this can coexist.
Yeah. That's actually a scripture that I put in the TEDx as well.
Yeah, there you
go. So yeah.
That's nice.
On the same page.
Have you ever been headstrong on something but been getting it absolutely wrong? I just had this
that's
come to my mind. Like you've gone gung ho, absolute guns blazing, fire, and you got in your bag, but low-key you got the take like wrong.
And when you realize, do you keep going?
I
can't be wrong.
I'm trying to think of a topic that's proper. I feel like there's things that's, so I think most of the time it's, so for example, one recent one I can think of is when Syria, so during all this stuff that's happening, Syria was going through, like, depending on the word, civil war, coup, whichever one it was, overthrowing their government, right? And because of how oppressed the Syrians were under the regime, both the people who were fighting on behalf of Syrians, the fighters, not the Syrians themselves, but the fighters, and then the government were villains in many people's story. So it's very much like a case of you can advocate for, it's like the Syrians are free, like finally you topple the government, but because then you realize later that actually this is a proxy war, or another country has come to destabilize and put these people in power. That's the moments, I think those are most of the moments I get where it's like, oh right, in the moment, like great, like this is what it is, and you know that. So I always try to like have a caveat or like have a disclaimer where it's like, if the Syrian people are happy, I'm on the side of the Syrians. Same with the Palestinians. I'm not here to tell you who should lead you. That's your right. My thing is that you shouldn't be oppressed. If you vote in a particular party, I'm not here to tell you that certain groups of people are and aren't terrorists. That's for Palestinians to decide. But what I can be is in solidarity with your ability to live an oppressed free life. And that's where I try to go. But there are many times I feel, not many times, but there's been times when it's just like, or like something happening like youth violence, and you advocate for like maybe the police have killed somebody or there's been this issue, and then you find out from maybe like the local community that this person was a terror of some way. And even for me, I feel like it doesn't mean you get that's not how we deal with things. But you can, I think maybe how I've approached the conversation made it seem like it was very black and white, and instead there was a lot more nuance to why people don't come out to talk about these things. But at the same time, ultimately it's still, this was wrong, you know. So it's I think it's more complicated, and you do what you can do with the information that you have. And I think it's really important to hold your hands up after and be like, right, okay, it looked like this,
Yeah.
but I think it's this.
From where I was standing.
Where I was standing, it was this.
Yeah.
When
and
you squint your
hopefully-
eyes like this.
Yeah. And then next time, not to be so quick,
Jump out there.
or you could be like, oh, okay, cool. That's how people start with going, praying for peace. And then they gradually get
And then it
into
changes.
Let's
yeah,
get
yeah.
specific.
destroy this person because they need to know, like, let me, yeah. So it's a hard one, man. It's so hard.
I don't know if you brought it up before or not, but it's that quote as well of, and I think you've mentioned this, is my integrity. You can say
Yeah,
it,
it's your quote. No, read it. I don't remember it off.
You read, my integrity lies within what I respond to with the knowledge I have. And that's very true, I think.
Yeah.
Like,
It has to. If I don't know listen, I'm not on the front line.
Yeah.
I'm actually in Camden Town, London. Like these hotspots for war are thousands of miles away from me. I'm relying on biased media, my own understanding and intellectual portfolio and frameworks that I've applied, and then again my heart and my ethics to guide me somewhere. This is still very kind of almost like disorienting like journey to go on, because technically I'm not there. I'm, to be honest, if someone came out and now and goes, the message from the Prime Minister was a fake deep or AI, I wouldn't be none the wiser. How would we actually know?
How would you know? Yeah.
During the COVID.
You know what? I realized my mom will believe anything, AI, whatever.
Yeah.
There's one right now where like someone throws like a baby and an alligator grabs it, and then like a monkey
my
goes in the
God.
alligator.
And it's one of those videos.
And like I'm like, my mom would believe this. But there's certain things I'm seeing now. I'm like,
They look realistic.
what is this?
hold up, wait a minute.
Like I saw a
Yeah.
dog doing backflips on a trampoline, and I was like, "Oh, this is so cute."
cute.
So
So
to my
cute.
girlfriend, she goes, "That's AI." I was like,
I saw a gorilla bang the alligator with the club, of wood, because it munched its baby, or it had a baby in the mouth. And boom. I said, damn, that was
That
how
was
did it clock
impressive.
that?
Yeah.
Until I go in the comments, oh my
It's
gosh,
AI.
it's me too, it got me.
Exactly.
looking
I
too
felt
just
violent.
realizing that was.
Oh my gosh, now I think of it.
You got.
But that's like imagine when it was like COVID. I don't know how it was in Australia for COVID.
Oh, it's the
Oh,
worst.
finished.
Absolutely
Yeah,
worst.
destroyed.
you
Western
had
world.
you had obviously had the lockdowns as well. and everything.
Obviously,
Right.
we had the longest in the world.
You had the longest in the world.
In
Melbourne.
Melbourne specifically. Let me tell you about that. Made me almost go right. That was crazy. Anyway, continue.
No, but like even so during that period of time, I only interacted with the new policies based on what the BBC told me or the news. I didn't go to number 10 to check, did you actually say this,
Yeah.
sir?
Right,
I
yeah.
stayed at home because of what the screen told me.
Yeah.
Do you know how mad it is
Yeah.
that somebody has projected an image onto the screen and told me to stay home and not go to work? And I have to hope that no one else went to work. Otherwise, I'm screwed. And I'm going to know, it came up on my TV that I was supposed to stay home.
Yeah.
Do you know how much, I mean, with AI and all this stuff now, we're becoming very vulnerable. Because if someone comes now and says, breaking news, Putin has now said he's outside the border. How do I actually know
That it's not
that this is
true.
true or
Yeah.
not? I have nothing within me, my power to know what is true. And I think that's what's scary now with all the conflicts. It's like, you can now show me a picture that's fake. And now I'm here like,
Literally, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
rough.
Have you heard the story of the Russian, like this time ago, 80s or 70s or something, where he didn't press the button to like for nuclear power? Nuclear.
I've seen those type
bomb,
of,
whatever.
yeah.
I'm
I've
like,
seen
I
those
don't know.
type of-
Again,
it
I
was
don't know if
true.
it's propaganda. I think it's true, but basically, it's like
He's trying to save the world.
they got a message accidentally saying that the US has sent something,
Right.
and so there's one person that decides, do we send something back or do we not? And he's just gone, I think it's fake. But like,
Imagine if he did
Yeah,
it.
man.
imagine he would have, and it was fake. It turned out it was
Oh.
wrong. But it's like, imagine he would have just sent it back, and
I have that. Yeah.
because me,
What? You've run up with me. Pants ain't even on yet.
Oh god.
Yeah, we're in a very scary time.
yeah.
Basically.
That's mad.
I was gonna say change it up a little. What is?
No,
Are you,
Mal,
are you
it's all right.
dating?
Everything is political, Mal.
Are you dating currently?
Well,
What's that looking like?
That's
these men are childish.
so rough.
I'm currently bringing it to God as well.
Action!
Action,
This one can only happen by prayer and fasting. Man.
But yeah, I'm in that boat of people. Yeah.
Yeah. So when it comes to like dating men, is that something that you look for in them as well? Do they have to be like on that kind of level with you?
No,
terms
if
of
I
politics.
want to marry, I have to. That can't be a. It can't be.
be.
If I want to marry, I can't have that standard for a man. That's crazy.
What do you
That's crazy.
mean when you say this? Are you saying
If I genuinely have it in my head that I want a man who's like equally politically yoked with me, I'll be here all day.
okay? That's
Or I'll find someone, but he's like from the Reform Party, so our politics are different, but
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
really
yeah.
political. It's that weird thing as well when you enter politics. I guess I'm in politics. It's like I guess I took like the unconventional route. Yeah, we say route. Yeah,
What else?
yeah. Oh, yeah. I was gonna say route as well. Unconventional route.
Now you don't know what to say.
Yeah, I don't know which audience is it. So because of that, I've actually, my formative years have been very different to people who are in politics. So what I like in men, what I like in my culture, what I like is still very much like, it doesn't seem like it complements what people who would have, from a young age, I know I was going to be an MP. They might have that. So for me, I'm like, a lot of men for me seem like, a lot of people in politics might not seem cool, like not cool, but it's just like,
They know your speech.
do you listen to the music I listen to? Do you want to go on a party holiday? They might be like, have you read, Das Kapital by Karl Marx? And that's not for me. I'm more of a Tupac philosopher. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, let's speak it in the way that you need to speak it. It doesn't have to be like prim and proper in that way, but speak it in the way you want to speak it, or at least be interested in something enough that you could develop a political view of it without being explicitly political. You know, you could, I know people are not necessarily very political, but they're in AI and tech, and they're talking about actually there's a bias feeding the machine. That's how they've entered the political sphere. I can engage with that and we can have a conversation. But it can't be people that are just explicitly, I self-identify as not political. That's a man. Lazy. And to lead a household, I think it's, as I said before, I would not, if I was to have children with you, I'd be like, this is a liability as a man. You know
nothing.
You've really just shown just how bad it is for the men. You've said be interested in something. It used to be the other way.
No, not even be interested. Like just like it and just be serious.
Because that's what a lot of guys used to be on. Like, just have an interest. Like, I want to.
They used to say that for girls.
But now it's, oh my god.
It's just
now it's for guys.
There's a thing I was saying last year where it was like, we just need to make social justice masculine again.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if it ever was, to be fair, because when you look at it, women are always like the majority of leaders and stuff. But there's no Malcolm X in the UK. Martin Luther King-esque type figure where when I see him in a dance, I'm like, ooh. You know what I mean? There's no batch of people where, you know how there's always like a batch, there's the artsy people, there's going to be the creatives, there's going to be the corporate guys, there's going to be this. Where are the like freedom fighters, with the leather jacket where I'm like, oh, did you see thingy? Like, Did you see the protest? Like,
the march.
There's no,
something to talk about.
there's no batch of those people. And I feel like with all this stuff that's going on online with like, I'm not sure, you might have seen all the stuff with the flags here.
What's that?
There's a conversation now.
Like, oh, you guys hold flags everywhere?
No, there's a new thing now about like people who are right wing are trying to put up flags, English flags everywhere.
Yeah. We were clocking, we're like, yo, there's
yesterday we were on a walk from the thing and I was like,
it feels a bit scary.
It feels a bit threatening.
Yeah, so that's part of it. So they're trying to be like, this is our country, and it's like trying to take up the space and put English. The English flag for us is very oppressive. When you think about us, we call ourselves Black British. As in the UK, we don't identify with England as an England. The England flag for us has always been seen as like the mobs after
this
the football.
Thing pulled up after.
Sometimes you can like it if we're all united on the football team, but sometimes it's been the kind of like far right, racist riots. There was English flag, not the UK, the British flag, English flag. So I don't even know where I was going with it now, but
we've got pretty much the exact same thing happening in Australia right now. We just had a massive like protest, anti-immigrant protest.
Make global news, man.
You guys hear about that?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are the crappy cousins.
But what I was saying, so now I remember is with the men. So with that, we had a race riots last year.
Is that the EDL?
Yeah, no. They've come to now become reform. Like that's their godfather. So they've like kind of evolved. Like, they used to be the Brexit party. Now the Brexit was done. It's like they don't stop until they get what they want.
Next?
Yeah. Right. So for me, last year's there were complaints that like they were like. Not complaints, they were actually like setting fire to hotels for being anti-immigration and like beating up black and brown people in the UK, like literally. Goodness. And they were saying that they're going to come down to London to do it. So as a woman, that was the first time, as someone who's a like activist or speaks on these issues, the first time I was like, there's only so much I can do here. There comes the point where politics can get very physical.
Yes.
Violence is actually a natural part of politics at many a time. So it's like, I've done all my bit. So when there's that final bit when it comes to the violence and who's going to create the front line, that's the first time I was like, the man them are not political.
No. There's no
the man them are not political.
What is their time taken up with then? If it's not these, and I'm talking men that are our age, so I'm 28, like so 26 up.
Yeah.
What is their time taken up with if it's not these issues?
I'm trying to think. It's hustling or stacking or
Yeah.
something. Well, stacking because
Yeah.
the stack is not there.
Yeah.
So
In hopes.
we're not sure. No,
We're
but the
stacking
point is
coins.
that when
In
the
hopes
cost of
it's
living crisis, so what exactly are you stacking?
Yeah.
It's the preoccupation of trying to present as a man in all the ways that aren't masculine. So online, again, you've come at the interesting time. Obviously, depending on when this comes up, but like,
let's see this.
there's this thing about the black guy online who was talking about this is why I don't date black women.
Ginger J or whatever.
J, something like that. So
That was mental.
there's this thing called Backchat.
Oh,
Oh,
right.
yes,
Yeah.
And
This
then
one, yeah.
I haven't even looked into it because I hate that stuff. It's just boring. It's
Oh.
like, look at how old we are. Like,
At the age
it's
too.
at our age. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. At our age.
Yeah.
So people are creating careers
Yeah.
of saying
Crazy.
black women are
It's
this, exactly like
crazy.
that.
So, yeah.
So this is what they're taking. They're trying to perform masculinity in a debate. Instead of them to go and build the house that we're waiting for.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
okay. No one cares.
Oh,
They're trying to
gosh.
project it. It's always, there's a lot of, it might be in Australia as well, there's a lot of like discourse fatigue.
It's getting there.
So much
Not as much,
discourse.
Not
Yeah.
as much, but
Oh, no,
yeah, for
here,
sure.
the discourse about life, they'll be like, who
Like it's
pays
the
on
same body
yeah.
count,
Body count,
money
who pays on
up.
the first date,
Okay,
who's doing this,
alright.
or presenting like
Okay.
they've got bread, or presenting this, or saying I'm gonna wake up at 5 a.m. to be the most productive person ever, and just it's
Yeah.
it seems like that. It just seems like that's what they want to do, just to present as masculine, instead of just doing what the people want them to do.
Like, I beg you, pick up the hammer. Man.
Do you reckon
let's
our
go and
parents
build
had
this
that
house.
conversation, like these same conversations? Like, do you reckon our parents would have debated with their friends, like, who should pay? Oh, no one's dating. Like that,
Truly, no.
I don't think so.
Truly,
I don't
no.
Yeah.
think so at
Because
all.
they were sharp shooters.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
arrow.
I like
only.
you, come.
That's
Yeah.
they only had one.
Yeah.
Most times.
Most times.
They
And you would only
had
move
one.
to girls. Obviously, this is a generalization.
serious.
When you actually have
Yeah.
bread or something to do.
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Or
Because I'm
you-
not going to embarrass myself.
This is so my thing right now with it is that there used to be some sort of pride in being a man of how much you can look after a woman.
Yeah.
That's why when it came to like the people doing illicit in the drug world, the underground,
Yeah.
the way they look after their girls, that's why girls are like, oh, I
Yeah.
like, because at least even if you're cheating on me, you don't really like me, I've got my new bag,
That's
I'm
it.
living a life like,
Nails done,
you,
yeah.
how you treat your girls is a reflection of how long your bread is. So you want to even present, like, even if you're saving up your salary for 2 months, you're still going to be like, yeah. But now it's like men take pride in how much they don't want to do anything for a woman. It's like you take pride in saying, oh, I don't, my girl can't do this. It's like you take pride in that. Why is it such a source of pride that you want to debate paying?
Yeah.
In fact, you should even be like, oh, I hope she does pay, but I'm gonna stack to pay.
Yeah.
It's just presented as, oh, it's like, why do you take? That's why people say, do you hate women? It's a hatred thing. It comes to a point when it's like, do you hate us?
Just love your boy, man.
And especially because when we go out with girls, as you know, we spend more money than you spend on us.
Literally.
Do you know how much you spend at brunch?
Yeah.
Have you been to brunch with a
But
girl?
most brunch is
We
not
will
cheap.
spend
Brunch
more
is
money
the
than
best.
we
I
spend.
love brunch
Oh,
here.
brunch is
It's like, it's
it'll
brunch
attack a
day
man's
party.
pocket.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's very
bottomless,
different
yeah.
here.
Such a vibe, but my God, I can't keep up.
Oh,
with
you don't
that.
do brunches in Australia? It's not
We
a big
do
thing.
brunch as like, yo, it's just food. Like, it's not like a day
Yeah,
party
yeah.
brunch
Okay,
or that.
yeah.
We don't go out until like 1:30
Late
in the
evening.
morning.
You guys don't go out until 1:30.
Yeah, like people just
10 p.m. we can start.
No one's rocking up to the club at 10.
Nah.
Is
12
it?
maybe.
Do you
Yeah.
have day parties? No.
They've
Not
tried it.
often.
Oh my
Not
gosh, we've
often.
They tried to
tried.
do 1 4 p.m. start, and I don't think anyone rocked up to like 9:30.
Yeah.
And like events finishing at 11.
Literally.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Oh,
bro.
we also have like really bad like laws for like hospitality
Yeah,
stuff and all
yeah,
that stuff.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, so that they
True.
it's hard to get late license. And
Okay, yeah.
all
We're
that
in
kind
Melbourne
of-
where
yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah. That's why the proliferation of it was like, right, let's get it cheap in a day.
Yeah.
And you
Makes
guys, you
sense.
know what I mean, the sunlight too. You might want, yeah, okay, I hear it. I
Like,
hear it.
yeah,
When we have it all the time. Okay.
yeah, shades.
I'm hearing it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you had,
Nah, go.
you had some hot takes there, right?
Oh,
That I
yes.
wanted to jump
We're doing that
into.
now?
Yeah,
Alright.
let's suss these hot takes.
So I guess you guys can answer it as well if you want to, but I'll just say a few. First one is dating apps have ruined romance. What do we think?
I said that to my sister, I'm gonna join one maybe in September.
Why do you?
Have you ever been on one?
I've never been
What?
on one. Never been
Ooh.
on one.
Why is there like a start date?
Yeah.
Wait,
I
hold up.
just-
We're in September.
Yeah, wait, no, to end. I'm going on holiday, then I'm gonna come back and direct. Right, let's do this admin.
It's even in that
Like,
category.
innit, like admin, like oh my gosh. I think so. I don't know if they've ruined it. I see a lot of people having the dating fatigue and being like everything just feels like orchestrating love
Yep,
and
yep,
orchestrating romance and chemistry in ways that are unnatural to us. But then the people getting married will tell you that I was on Hinge and Tinder and Bumble and this and then. So you're like, maybe I'm not 1 in a million too. Maybe if I go on there, I'll be that
You
one.
might find.
Like, you can't knock it till you try it. I just want to get to like the end of my life and be like, if only I just gone on a date.
God, why did I just download?
I think there's a pride to it as well. I can't lie. Like, to be online and be like, hi, my name is, and I like politics.
It's the quotes and the profile punchlines that's hard.
When they say stuff like,
they'll
what's
say
your
something
top
like,
3 meals?
like what would you, impress me? Like, what was the thing? What's your favorite? I don't know what to say.
Yeah. Also, because it's like, this is not a cute way to.
It's not.
And would I have to put in one of my pics, should it be like a political book to show I'm political? Or can I present it?
Or do you not?
Don't
Yeah,
do
that
that
might
for
be.
My
yourself.
only recommendation is post photos of you, not group photos.
Oh, is it? Is
Before
that
they-
annoying?
Oh, 'cause they'll
I've-
think it's someone
It's
else.
not even
there.
that. It's like, how do I say this?
No, say
in
it,
a nice
bro.
way.
All right.
In a nice way.
Show off that you're beautiful
Yeah.
alone. Because a lot of people look beautiful because their friends are
batch.
also beautiful.
Okay.
But it's like, if you're already beautiful, show that off.
show.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Okay, noted.
Pep talk, man. When you get
Okay.
back for the admin,
No, I'll update you guys. Don't worry, I'll tell you how it's going. Yeah.
Well,
All right, cool. Next one is cancel culture is just accountability.
Ooh.
Cancel culture is just accountability. What are we thinking?
trying to marinate that one a
What do you
little
think?
bit. Cancel culture is just accountability.
It's just holding people accountable for their
Nah,
actions.
it's not just. It's humiliation ritual as well.
Yeah, I like this.
It's not just. Like, if it was just,
True.
that's why people are on the fence, and I get sometimes why it comes like that, because I'm like, there's accountability part that I feel like, yes, you have held them to. However, the humiliation part of it, the heavy-handedness, the irredeemableness of it,
Yeah.
the not being honest about the context for which a lot of these things has been said. A lot of us have said all this stuff and say it. Like, even off camera, I'm not even as cautious with my words when I talk about different people naturally, because you speak fast and whatever. But if I was online, I have to be more careful.
Yeah.
But luckily for me, as a millennial, a lot of my formative years was not on the internet in that way, or it's deleted. Whereas the young people now, with
That's some stuff to get rid of.
but like with their like soft heads, imagine anything you think now is online.
You know how scary
that's
that is?
crazy.
Oh my
It's
God.
actually
Imagine all the
insane.
things you've said about your parents, let alone on there. My parents will now see it. I said, so in 1996 you called me this or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I was angry at you. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that you abused me. You know what I mean? Like, imagine saying, I hate today my mom beat me. It's like, officer now, innit? They're like, oh, you're abused. So it's like, I think it's just a bit of the humiliation part of it is scary, and you have no intention of correcting the path of that person. It's like you leave them to it.
I was gonna say there's no bouncing back when it comes to
Yeah.
cancel culture.
Yeah.
Like that's not the intent. Whereas
Yeah.
accountability is to say,
educate
this is the new
after,
course.
yeah.
Like, this is where we want to take you.
And
now.
you like people getting to a point that is you almost deify them, just so when you pull the rug you want to pull it. That's what I don't like, because it's like, so this person anyway with these views or whatever it is, why did they get to a point where they're just this god in your eyes anyway? Because you do this, we love to make these like gods of people, but the moment they do something we don't like, we like to show them we've got the power. That's what we like. And we get the underdog story, it's like when they're the underdog, you always like the people who are rough around the edges, who tend to be people who are not media trained, who tend to be normal people like
Organic.
us, organic.
Yeah.
But then the moment they seem like they're part of the establishment, you're like, but that's why you wanted them there, because they're not cut from the media trained class. So.
All right, I'll probably do 2 more. You can't separate the art from the artist.
Oh, this feels like Kanye West.
R. Kelly, Tory
Yeah.
Lanez.
There's a
Do you know how
bunch
much
of
it
them.
hurts me?
Young Thug.
What did Young Thug do?
Nah, young
Yeah,
Thug.
This week I've been seeing some.
My
I have no
goodness.
views on it
He's
right
He's been
now.
everywhere.
but
He's been everywhere.
Yeah.
You say you can't. That's what
You
that
can't.
says.
Yeah, you can't separate art from the artist.
I'm not gonna be a hypocrite online. Tory Lanez music be slapping, bro. But it's stuff.
You got to take him as a whole then, with his music and his flaws.
One of our homegirls, Melvin, she actually said it in a decent way. She was like, if they're dead, I can. And she was saying, like, because now it's like there's no way for you to cause more harm, and there's no way for you to like undo the harm that you did. So I'm able to kind of just
Separate
separate.
the
Which is like, if you're
situation.
still alive, it's like
You
you
don't
need
know where
to
you
prove
can.
that you can undo this, or and I'm like, oh, I can't hear it.
She sounds like an MJ fan. That's what you see MJ fans, that's one thing. That's that hill. It's like, it's Michael Jackson. We wasn't there when, obviously it's really serious. And to be honest, there are a lot of journalists that have come out and said, at the time, you're forgetting that. To see the same way they made a black man, they dragged a black man. Imagine at that time when there was no people being able to be like, but at the same time, anything to do with kids and that,
Regardless.
I would never entertain that, like, that didn't happen. So for me, it's always best to be on caution and be like, but at this, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we need you to be not guilty.
Clearly.
Yeah.
And they did say that he was found not guilty on all these things though. But then, do we believe in the justice system?
Ah,
When
man.
you're that wealthy as well.
And inappropriate, the idea of like wanting, so there's a lot
Sleepovers
there.
and, yeah.
But I feel like the MJ people tend to say that.
Yeah,
So it's looking
R.
like-
Kelly's
it's
the
looking
one
like a
for
no,
me
huh?
that
I know.
the music
looking like
is
a
really
no,
good.
yeah.
It's looking like a
It's incredible how much. I think one time, like, one of his songs was, I was in the Uber, and one of his songs was about to play, and in the beginning you're like, I haven't heard this beat in ages. Like, what is it? Like, don't play music like this. Then you hear the voice, you're like, because it's R. Kelly.
Yeah.
And there's so many songs that I just don't tap into. When you think about the songs that you might have imagined for like your wedding or like big moments when you were a child, you're like, Space
That's
Jam. Was it Space Jam that he did? Like,
I believe I'm flying.
yeah, it's all that stuff. You like, it's yeah.
Everyone
So many
just
songs that he wrote that you
put-
don't know he
oh,
wrote.
right, true.
Bump, bump, bump.
I know. Don't listen to that.
True.
Everyone just puts their playlist on shuffle and hopes for the best. Like,
Yeah,
hopefully
yeah,
it just
hopes,
pops up.
yeah.
Hopefully, from back when it was all right, that maybe it comes in.
Like
today.
he was like one of the most successful cancellations ever.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
Oh, 100%.
Rightfully
He's a
so,
menace.
rightfully so.
Yeah.
Mad. All right.
And we'll do last one. Being apolitical is a privilege.
Yes.
Yep,
That's nice.
for sure. I think we definitely discussed that during today.
No, but I'm trying to think. I want to be on the other side of the fence with that. Being apolitical is a privilege.
Is a privilege.
Yeah, technically. Yeah, okay. I can't even try because the only way you end up in a position of either ignorance or consciously apolitical is if it doesn't affect you.
It doesn't affect you at all. Yeah.
I would think, right?
Mm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
He's thinking that as well.
I'm just like thinking maybe being inactive politically is, but that might be something different. Like I'm thinking like single mother refugee that's come, has 2-3 jobs and 2 kids. Like I don't have the time to be pulling
And
up.
she
the
just wants to
things.
like cut through.
But I don't have like everything going on in the world. It's like, yeah, but also my kids are starving and my you know, like I don't know if I don't look at someone like that and go, you're privileged.
Yeah, I was
It's
gonna
weird,
say.
but
I
Because you
don't-
do get people that are like that it's like, this is annoying. There probably is something to do with the system.
Yeah. So
But I'm
she
just
has
gonna cut through.
opinions, but she's not active. Is
Right.
what I in my but
yeah.
Yeah, and then for every, I agree. I'm very much like, these are never the people I'm talking to. Like when I even talk about politics, about doing stuff, I'm like, I'm never talking. If you if you thinking about doing politics feels like you have to rearrange your whole life and it's so hard, you're probably not the person I'm talking to.
Yeah.
You're probably the person I'm talking on behalf of. Like
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
we're probably
facts.
talking about you. Like we're talking about refugee. If a refugee is not political, just listen. It's okay. We've seen how politics affects your life. We understood
Facts.
it.
yeah.
So yeah, so I think that's okay, but there's people who are just like, yeah, they don't want to, yeah, they've just got a privilege and they don't want to. And then for every person that we feel like has a good reason not to be political, you will see the poorest, most vulnerable person who's political. So a lot of our excuses that we have, you will find other people who are worse off than you who are political. So it's very difficult to say if I have this, but then the people that are protesting, there's people with wheelchairs, there's people who have all these issues, they're doing it. So it's always be careful who your audience is when you say I've got all these issues, because they'll be like, well,
What about me?
what about me?
Yeah.
Like, you know.
With the line of, obviously, I'm gonna call it line of work that you're in, everything. I guess, what does 10 years time look like for you in your mind, like personally, but also in terms of politics and all this? Like,
Okay. Let's start with politics. 10 years time, as in what I want to do with politics or where I see the landscape. Or
where you see yourself in this whole picture?
ooh, it's so interesting. I think this is the first time I have to actually plan it because this is all accidental. I think it would be really good to be like, I guess, a credible, established name in politics, where if I lent my voice to something, it would mean something.
Has influence.
Has an influence in that respect. Is able to be seen as somebody who can platform different voices. I think for me, it's just integrity. I feel like it doesn't even matter how big my platform or whatever it is. It's more about, are you associated with integrity and someone who actually cares. So I think that's that. It would be nice to maybe have some sort of like, I guess now like media, I keep thinking about media a lot, maybe a media company where it's like, this is, you know what I mean, all the work that we do is towards a certain voice, not to control people's voices, but to own things where it's like, come here, amplify voices, and also build a network of people who are not disqualified for speaking up. I think a lot of people in these cultural spaces rely on branding and media from people who are complicit in genocide, so they can't speak up. But imagine being able to speak about all these things because you've got a backer or an investor or a platform that you can be as successful saying boycott as somebody who stays silent and becomes like a household name. So I think I want to create a space where you're not penalized for being political. And then for myself, I combined it, right? I think I combined it. But yeah, I think I'd just like to like have something there where not penalizing people for these type of things. So yeah.
Do you think you'd ever into like formal politics?
Yeah,
Outside of media, or do you see more value in being involved in media?
I feel like it seems like media feels a bit more like I can see where my place is.
Touching the people.
I think formal means that I have to reckon with my own skill set and stuff, whereas like I'm not sure I actually care about bare things. like you know,
That's
when you
real,
deep it, where it's like a lot of the people who vote are not people who I care would care about. That's why a lot of the like, don't get me wrong, I care about the elderly, but them man calling me to move the bus stop from one meter to another meter, it's not going to be something that I'm going to tailor my whole manifesto to.
We're on it.
Do you know what I mean? Right? Or like if the right wing are rising up, I'm not going to be like, right, let me put an English flag in my house to show them that I'm like, I don't want to I don't want to have to respond to certain things. And I think that's where I'm not best placed for it. Maybe like the MP stuff. But maybe if my local area, as you were saying, like building brick by brick, sometimes you can be like, really love your local area, be your local MP. And that's all I want to do because I understand that context, I understand that neighborhood, I understand those people. And it feels that I'm not accountable to everyone. I can see where the issues are within this jurisdiction, and I'm fine with that. So I don't think I would like to be an MP, no. And I've said like, we're like a complicit in genocide and apartheid, and the British state has nothing other to give than imperialism. I don't know who's going to vote for me. I'm like, we've got an anti-Brit MP who will basically say she's going to pull us out of NATO and all that. No one's going to back that.
Talk about the digital footprint.
That's how, the moment I was like, free all these people, I was like, it's me done.
All right. Instagram's my only hope.
No, I've enjoyed this.
This was fun. Thank you. This was, it was. I think I really enjoyed that. What I thought everything is political and that is gonna be is actually just a fun conversation.
Good.
For sure. You guys can check out Everything is Political. Is new season out?
Yes, new season's out now. Yes, season 2. It's out on Instagram. Everything is political _BT. And hopefully more stuff coming soon, more seasons. Hopefully we get you in.
Come on.
Yes.
Another time as well, and we can talk about something.
I'm with it.
That would be good. So
You know how dumb I am? This morning, I was on the train saying, yo, what is does the BT stand for Britain? At the end of it.
Oh, don't kill me. British Telecom.
Dude. Oh, is it British?
No, it's Busayo Twins.
It's Busayo Twins, Dude, it's Busayo Twins. Mind that. You see my stupid ass.
Busayo, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you guys can follow Busayo. It'll be in the descriptions, all that. Catch you guys next week. Peace out.
Bye.
Thank you.